Hi, my name is Jennifer. I am a group exercise instructor and physical therapist. Today's Pilates class is a mat class. That's all the equipment that you need, maybe some water and a towel. Shoes are optional. I am also not going to play any music, so you can pick whatever music you want on for your own background or none at all. I will show modifications to all of the exercises. So make sure you're not doing anything that hurts. Pick a level that's appropriate for you that feels challenging, but you can do in good form. So making sure that you're really observing what's happening in that core system and keeping that compressed. So we'll go over that in the warm-up. Let's get started. So go ahead and get yourself into a sitting position. Feet about hip distance apart with those knees. I want you to sit up nice and tall here. Think about that posture, kind of that perfect alignment, like you were up against a wall. Heart is lifted, lengthening from the top of the head towards the ceiling. And then I want you to start to find that core. So closing and lifting through that pelvic floor, which you are kind of sitting on right now. So think about holding up, holding in gas. You're in that muscle group. Transverse abdominal muscle, low deep belly muscle. Abdominal muscle. I want you to think about pulling that low belly, especially towards that spine here, like you were zipping up a super tight pair of pants. Holding that and breathing. So allow that rib cage to move with that breath while you're maintaining that core. And then let's introduce some spinal mobility. So as you tuck your tailbone, you're going to round into the C curve, and you can keep your hands lightly on the front of your knees. Kind of tuck that tailbone, round through that spine, contract that core, tight, 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 and then reverse that. I do want you to come up and kind of overshoot that neutral. So come into a little extension. Exhale, flex. Inhale, lift. Exhale, flex. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One more time. Exhale. Just going to get that good rounded stretch, contraction, and come to your neutral. I want you to cross the left hand over the right knee. Give yourself a little pressure and turn and twist and look behind you. My core is still set, nice and tight. And I'm going to come back to neutral and do the other side. Open that up into that twist and close. One more time each side. So you're contracting your core, but your hand is helping get a little bit of a stretch through that spine so you can get a little farther into that rotation and bring it center. All right, sitting up nice and tall still, arms out in front. I want you to pick up the right foot, hold it a few seconds, extend it out, hover above the ground, fire your quad, fire that hip flexor, bring it in, knee, and put it down. Other leg, pick it up, hold a few seconds, extend it out, lengthen, 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 pull it in and put it down. Let's do that again. Flex with that hip, extend out, tighten your quad, get that core compressed, bring it in and down. One more time, lift, extend out, pull in and put it down. Extend both legs out, sit up nice and tall, pull the arms up, and I want you to curl again. But this time you're kind of thinking about coming over an imaginary ball. So think about like your sacrum kind of glued against a wall. I don't want you to come off of that wall. So I don't want you to kind of come forward with it. I want you to kind of curl down and inhale, lift. So bigger trunk movement. Exhale, flex. Have a little more strain with those legs straight. Inhale. So if you prefer them bent, do it. One more. Now I want you to come off of that imaginary wall. Start to pivot over those hips, curl down, touch the floor. If you can, come back up. So a little bit more motion. Pulling the belly back to the spine. One more time. And release the arms, and then come all the way down onto your back. All right, coming into the 100 to start with, we're going to do 200 different options today. So we'll do a regular 100, and then we'll add a little bit of a twist modification to it. So starting here, feet flat for level 1, you're going to pull in that pelvic floor, compress that belly to your spine, and come into your ab curl position. And again, anything can be modified to head down. You do not have to come up. If you can get your shoulders and shoulder blades up, that's sort of where you the goal is. But otherwise, if you need to roll back down a little bit, what you're looking for is as you roll up, your belly should not have rolled up with you. Okay, at no point should your abdominals get poofier, bulge out. You shouldn't be holding your breath or bearing down. So make sure that that's kind of your what you're monitoring there. All right, now you got to inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands are nice and strong, pumping into the floor. Level 2, I'm going to pick my feet up off the floor. Level 3, I want you to straighten those knees, lock those quads, kind of fire another muscle group. And then level 4 is anything lower than that. Okay, so as you lower your legs, it's harder. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Staccato breath. Bring it in and lower down. All right. Now, traditionally you do 10 rounds of breath. I'm not sure how many rounds I did. It's sort of a roundish. So usually I'm not counting that closely in my head. All right, now second round of 100, we're gonna change the legs. The arms are gonna stay identical. You're gonna do your inhale 5, exhale 5, but then every breath, we're gonna switch out of a scissor and we're gonna switch our breath and switch with our breath. So if I'm here, now I've got a leg extended up and a leg extended out, and I'm doing my inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, switch. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, switch. Now I can modify this, bend my knee a little bit as it comes in. Okay, if my hamstrings are tight, I can also put my feet down, do single leg up, switch on my breath. Okay, so lots of modifications, or go back and do another round of the regular 100. Totally fine. Here we go. Compress that core. Get into your position. And then inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. Inhale. Take a look at the belly. Last one, and release it down. All right, keeping our body and our head down on the mat, we're gonna do a double leg circle, and there's a couple different variations of double leg circle. Usually it's kind of like both legs go together in like a big swinging circle, but we are gonna do both legs at the same time, but they're gonna go in opposite directions, okay? And then we'll switch and go the other way. So if I want to start with a level option for one, I'm going to bring my knees up, but kind of use my knees as my imaginary flashlights on the ceiling. And you're going to come down, but then they circle around and come in. So they're down, they separate, they come around, okay? Now, if I'm going to do a straight leg, I'm here. You've got this double leg lower going into it, but then they come apart and bring around, whoop, my hip cracked, back to center. I'm not sure if you heard that, but it sounded loud. And then you're gonna lower again and then circle out and around. Now again, I can make my circles as small or as big as I want, but you have to keep good form, okay? And no cheating. Do not put your hands underneath your butt. Try not to grab your mat for stability. I saw a lot of that this week in class. So get that core compressed. Only go so low as what you can control, and then your legs circle out and around. I'm gonna hit the wall, so I'm gonna come out just a little bit onto the carpet. All right. Make sure you're breathing. Arms are nice and strong into the floor to help with that trunk stability. Legs are super locked out. Really fire those quads. And if you want, on the way around to the top, think about really pulling your feet kind of over your head as you circle down. So working on a little bit more of that hip flexion. And there's no particular right or wrong speed for this today. Just kind of going at your own pace. Everybody's circle is going to be a different length of time. Now switch your direction. You're going to come out first, scoop down, around, and double leg lift. Scoop out and around and lift. And again, as I'm coming over my head, I'm pulling my feet farther than my hips. You do not have to do that. You can stay here for where your neutral, your center is for the start and stop of each rep. So I'm just going a little bit farther. I'm not picking up my butt. There is that. I mean, there is like a pull up, but I'm not doing that. But you can do it if you want. Finish 2 more. And 1 more. And release those legs down. And give them a little bit of a break. I'm going to get back on my mat. Now we are going to go right into a double leg lower. So that sort of prepped us a little bit for this. And again, do not, please, put your hands underneath your butt. It completely helps stabilize your trunk so much. And your abs are not doing a majority of that work, okay? And again, no grabbing your mat. So hands strong into the floor, shoulders back. Lengthen that spine, pelvic floor, transverse set. Legs come up. Again, I can start here and do a double leg lower towards the floor. Using my feet as kind of that guide towards the floor. I can either not touch the floor or I can tap the floor and bring it back up. Straight leg from there. And again, it doesn't matter how low you go. Nobody's getting graded on this. I think with abs, everybody wants to make it like the biggest, like craziest looking, like super hard. But if you can't control it and your form is bad, you're not getting anything out of it or you're going to hurt something. So make sure that you really, form should take precedent over anything. It's not about how far you can go. So really be mindful. Some days you may be able to go lower than others. Like this morning, I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I'm going a little lower than I was earlier this week in class. I was a little bit tired. But today, I don't know, must have slept really well, feeling really strong today. So again, every day is going to be a little bit different. Making sure that you've got that breath going with your exhale and inhale. Really squeeze your legs together too. Fire all these muscles. Get them moving. And again, I'm pulling them just a little bit past neutral or 90 degrees at the hips here, just to get a little bit of extra hip flexor in. Again, optional to try to pull those feet over your face. And again, I'm not doing a hip butt lift with it. Last 2. Last 1. And release it down. All right, shake that out a little bit. And we have a bridge with a bicycle. So we've got to counterbalance a little bit of that hip flexion. So we're gonna work on some extension. You're still gonna get a little bit of that hip flexion in here, but we're gonna isolate some of that glute hip extensors, okay? So hands still pressed into the floor, nice and strong. Come up into your bridge first, okay? Your option is to do bridges, right? You can press up and down with that butt. It's, again, not about how high you go here, okay? So please don't press up into your neck and overarch your back. Keeping that belly nice and tight. If you want to progress on, you're gonna try to pick up one leg and you are holding yourself in your bridge, okay? Now we're gonna single leg bicycle. You're gonna flex your foot, press down through that hamstring and glute, bend it in and kick it up. Here we go. Press 1. Your butt is stable, like it's on an imaginary tabletop. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse the directions. Here we go. 1, 2, keep your butt up. 3, core tight. 4, breathe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold. We got pulse bridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Push through the heel. 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29. Hold. Put that foot down. Stay in your bridge if you can. If you need to take a break, go to the floor. I'm going to switch right away to the other leg. And flex. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse that. Bend, kick, lift. Bend, kick, strong leg. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 21, 22, 23, 27, 28, 29, 30. Put both feet down, or your one foot down. Hold up into that bridge. Contract that core, and then bring it all the way down to the floor, and then pull those knees into your chest. Just kind of stretch that out a little bit. You can rock it out. We're going to sit up and we're going to do saw. Come on up. So it'll help lengthen out and stretch a little bit through that glute and hamstring after doing all that bridging. So saw, your legs are going to come straight. And start with them just a little bit wider than your mat, okay? And then to make this a little bit more difficult, the legs would go wider out into that V-sit. So you're starting up against your imaginary wall here, nice tall posture. Think about really lengthening and lifting. Arms out 90 degrees. You have 4 moves, 4 breaths. So each move, you should have an inhale or an exhale happening, okay? So inhale, turn to face a foot. Try to get that chest straight on with that leg. As you exhale, here's that sitting crunch, okay? So you're gonna bring that pinky finger to pinky toe, crunch and curl through it. Other arm reaches back, come up into sit, unwind. Other leg, you twist, you exhale and fold, come back up and center. So it's an inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale would be your breath with that. I'm going to go just a little bit wider and maybe turn a little bit just so that you can maybe see as I do that flexion fold, okay? So sit nice and tall, get those arms out. You're going to rotate, flex down. Again, I'm going pinky to pinky. I'm trying to keep my body, I'm contracting my core, coming back up and unwinding. Rotate, flex, inhale, exhale. All right, so going at your own pace. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Belly back, pelvic floor up. Hopefully you feel that lovely little stretch when you curl through that hamstring. Your legs are solid though. Fire your quads. And again, it's not about how low you go. If you don't reach your foot, it's fine. Go as low and far out as your body allows. One more to each side. Really use that core. It's very easy to just kind of flop down to that leg, but I'm using my abs to pull me farther. Hold your perfect posture. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And then release and let it go. Bring the legs back in and come on down onto your back for crisscross. All right, so taking that rotation that we did in saw and continuing with it for those obliques. So crisscross, hands go behind the head. Feet can stay down for option one. So you're gonna come into your curl position. So get your core set, come into your curl, and then you stay in your curl. You don't release out of it. So you're gonna rotate, look down at your elbow. Okay, as you do that, come back center. Exhale, inhale, center. Option two, one knee comes up. I am aiming that elbow to the outside of that knee as I look down at the other elbow. Level three, my feet are gonna come up and maybe I don't move my legs. Level four, we start to extend a leg out. So reaching really long through that, okay? Like somebody's got your ankle, pull that leg out, inhale, center. You're still in your curl. Exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale. Belly down and in. One more to each side. Center and release it down. All right, we're gonna flip around into a push-up position. So get yourself all the way around. I'm gonna take a little sip of water here as we're transitioning. Okay. Now, once we're in our push-up position, we'll do the whole thing, and then I'll show some modifications. So this one's really just gonna be a weight shifting, kind of pushing through the calf and ankle. So you're gonna be here into your push-up position, okay? Nice strong legs, arms push the floor away. You're gonna try to pick up one foot, and you're gonna drop back through your heel, push forward over your toes, okay? Then switch your legs. So you're dropping back and push, drop, push, drop, push. Now I can leave both feet down and be coming forward and back, okay? Kind of rolling over the ball of that foot. I can also hold. I can come to my knees for my modified plank, but make sure you drop those hips forward so you're on that diagonal. You can also just do a traditional forearm plank from the knees or toes and not move or add some movement. But otherwise, if you're on your knees, it's really hard to mimic that forward, backward motion. So I would just hold it, okay? All right, here we go. Pick what you would like to play around with today. Get that belly up nice and tight. Pelvic floor in. And here we go, lift a leg. We've got drop, push, drop, push. Back, forward. Back, forward. Keep breathing. One more. Hold. And release. Come off of those wrists. All right, we're gonna go on our stomach. We're gonna work a little bit more on some upper body, upper back. So some postural endurance. when we're on our stomach, I'm gonna face you for a second. When we're on our stomach, your arms here are gonna be out to 90 degrees, palms will face the floor, and you're gonna lift them up off the floor. Most of the time when people go to lift, I don't know what reason why, but they tend to kind of drop it down, or they just kind of end up in a funky position. So stay out at 90 degrees when you lift. We'll hold, we'll do some pulses. We're gonna rotate it, thumb up to the ceiling, hold in pulses. We'll come to a goal post position, okay? So those are the 3 arm positions that we'll do today. You're gonna come onto your stomach. And your legs can either be hip distance apart, pressed nice and strong into the floor, or I'm gonna try to keep mine together so I get a little bonus inner thigh. So I'm gonna squeeze them together, press into the floor with the tops of my feet, get your quads engaged and locked, glutes tight, pelvic floor, and transverse abdominal muscle, okay? Now you do have the option of staying here and being forehead down, maybe on a towel roll or just on the floor. If you wanna add a little bit more neck extensor, back extensor work, keep your face off of the floor, all right? But keep your neck very long and neutral. Do not crank it back and look at the side wall. Yeah? All right, here we go. 90 degrees with those arms. Get that core set, get your lower body solid and recruited. Lift those arms and hold. And you're just staying there. Think about kind of pocketing your shoulder blades towards the opposite butt cheek. So not only you're pulling them together, but drop them down a little bit. So you're creating space between your ears and your shoulders. So make sure you're not shrugged up towards your ears. Really working that middle trap, rhomboid area through the middle part of that shoulder blade, attaching to the spine. Nice strong legs. Work with that core and breath. Now we're going to do some pulses. Pulse up, 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 not back, back. So look, if you look sideways, your hands should be just coming straight off the floor, up and down towards the ceiling. And again, squeeze those shoulder blades. Hold it, rotate that thumb up, okay? So now we've added a little bit of that external rotation at that shoulder joint, working more rotator cuff with this, keep holding. And here we go, lift up, 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 up. Hold it, palm down. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees, and you are now in your goal pose. So try not to have your elbows up and your fingertips down. You're trying to lift your palms off of the floor so your forearms are parallel to the ground. Keep squeezing that shoulder blade. This one we do not have pulses. Hang in there. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release that down. Whew. Hopefully you felt that in your upper back shoulder blade area. We are going to come onto your side. So roll it onto a side. Just pick one. Doesn't matter. We'll eventually do both. We're going to do side kick. So shorts just never seem to stay put, do they? All right. So side kick. If you want to back it up on the back of your mat, sometimes it's like a nice angle then for where your hips are going to be at about 30 degrees or so. So if you back it up a little bit, put those legs to the front corner of your mat. Okay, so that'll bring the hips forward into flexion just a little bit. Now, side kick. Top leg is going to be about hip height. You get 2 exhale flexes through the hip forward. You get exhale, exhale, and then inhale, your hip extends and you squeeze your glute behind you and push back. You get flex, flex, extend through the hip. Your foot is flexing and pointing as it swoops back behind you. Now, let's get our trunk in position. You want to stack your shoulders and hips. Up right now, as I'm laying here, my back is very bowed into the floor. My waistline is kind of crumpled in and we're in like this side bend position. So I want to get my spine in neutral for this. So you're going to pull that waistline up. If you can see a little bit of air in there that I've created. So you're trying to keep a little space underneath your waistline. Our hips and shoulders are wider than our waists typically. So if we're really in neutral, there should be a little bit there. I should be able to kind of slide my hand under there. And then you're going to try to keep that up. So belly back, pelvic floor lifted. All right. Now top leg. It doesn't matter how far forward it goes. Your goal is to not have your back move. So as you kick that leg back, do not arch and drop. It's not flex and kick and your back and everything is kind of slopping all over the place. So exhale, exhale, inhale. There's 1. Exhale, exhale, 2. 3. Fingertips or hand in the floor will give you a little more stability. 5. We have 3 more. Finish it. Now pause and I want you to diagonally pull that knee down to the floor and your foot is up. Flex it. You're going to press back on a diagonal behind you, like to the back corner of your room, and come back down, knee diagonal to the floor. Kick back, squeeze your buns. Think about pushing an imaginary resistance away. Push. Kick in that quad. 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to keep some air there. 8, 9. Last one. 10. And release. All right. Now, before we flip to do the other side, remember the leg that you worked, okay? I'm gonna keep that leg towards my back wall because you'll see what we're gonna do with it. That leg is still gonna move. So remember it, okay? Keep that in your head. So you're gonna come onto hands and knees into a tabletop. So we're gonna hover into a leg pull front prep, and then we're gonna take that leg that you were kicking for the side kick, and we're gonna kick it underneath you to get a little bit of inner thigh. So I'm gonna tuck my toes, get my belly nice and compressed, pelvic floor in. You're gonna hover those knees right off of the mat. You're gonna rotate, come onto the flat foot. That leg that I worked with side kick is gonna scoop underneath me and I'm gonna try to tap it. And then you're gonna come back around your tabletop, okay? Now, if that's not working and you wanna just do your holds for leg pull front prep, or if you wanna come down on your side, kick that leg out and now it's on the bottom, you can do some inner thigh work there while we do this one. So tuck those toes, get that core set. You ready? Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your knees stay off the floor the whole time is the goal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. All right, go right down on your side for the other leg. So side kick, and then we've got that leg pull front prep with a kick under. All right, legs to the corner of that mat. Get that shoulder and hip area stacked. Create space under that waist, belly tight. Top leg comes to hip level. And again, scooping right along that imaginary kind of tabletop parallel with the floor. You have exhale, exhale, inhale, squeeze your glute. Exhale, exhale, inhale. 2. Halfway. And finish. And then we're going to do that diagonal. You ready? Here we go. Diagonal it down. Flex the foot. Press back. Kick 1. 2, like you're pushing something away from you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And release that down. Come into that leg pull front prep position from your tabletop, and we're gonna kick that leg underneath you, okay? So getting that core set, get those knees under your hips, tuck those toes, get your core engaged, lift those knees, hover. Now bring that leg through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and hold, and release it down. All right, we've got stomach massage 3. So you're gonna sit. I wish it was a massage, but it's really not. Okay, so we're kind of finishing how we started in this sitting position with some rotation. But when we rotate, we are going to be kind of back into our C curve. We're not going to be upright like we did in the warm-up. But we can modify, right? So I can leave my feet down at hip distance apart. My arms are going to go on a diagonal towards the ceiling and wall, kind of where they meet. And then you're going to roll back. So almost like a half roll back here. Tuck the tailbone, and then you're going to rotate, look down at your hand behind you, bring it back in, other side, and back around. Now, adding difficulty onto that. As you rotate and look, you're going to extend a leg. So I'm in my same start position, I'm rolled back, and now I'm going to extend and look, and extend that leg, and come around. Now, one more level is you can pick up both feet and hover and hold as you do that. I'm going to hover hold, but I'm also going to do either a single leg kick, okay, or a double leg, and then just lightly tap the floor in between with those toes, okay? So here's my start, just barely tapping the floor with my toes. I'm on a diagonal, and I'm going to rotate, look back, extend those legs, rotate, Really get that core engaged. Tuck that tummy back nice and tight. Pelvic floor up. Strong legs. One more to each side. And release it and hug yourself tall. All right, we're gonna finish with one more thing in balancing in standing. So make your way on up. And we're gonna go into eagle. So if you're familiar with eagle from yoga, I hadn't done it in a while, and so yeah, there you go. All right, so sometimes you're at the mercy of things that I haven't done for a while and want to pull out of the closet and dust them off. Now, think about whatever leg is on top as you wrap, that arm is going to go under. Okay, so the arms are actually kind of stacked on top of each other. You're going to rotate and try to kind of give them palm to palm. Do not let your elbows drop. You're trying to keep them up at shoulder height. The leg wrap, so you're down in a little bit of a mini squat. That leg wraps over top as if you were crossing your legs and sitting. And if you can, you're going to get like a full wrap and tuck your foot behind your calf and ankle. If you can't, not a big deal. You can modify by I can cross over and keep a foot touching the floor. Yeah. I can also keep both legs here in my mini squat, and maybe I just do my arms to kind of open up that back. So I kind of chose this to sort of open up and stretch after we did all of those upper back exercises. Okay. So if I turn sideways a little bit into that mini squat, okay, I'm going to cross my right leg over my left. And again, you can stay here or balance it. And then my right arm is going to come underneath. And my balance lately has been kind of sucking, I swear. All right, so right under, right on top, or left under, left on top, and you are holding this position. Bring it up and release. Now we're going to do the other side. Kind of stumbled out of that, and that's okay, right? That's balance. If you don't feel like it's challenging you, then it's probably not. And balance needs to be challenged just like anything else we do, right? So now I'm crossing my left over, my left arm under, wrap, and we'll see what this side's like today. Don't let the elbows dip, hold them up. And release out of it. Nice job. Okay, come to the edge of your mat. Take a deep breath in, exhale out. We're gonna fold in half. If you need to support yourself and walk it down the front of your thighs, do it. Otherwise, just let your body kind of dangle down. Again, you can support yourself on your feet, your shins, or your thighs. Get that lengthen up through that hamstring and glute. You can also keep a soft bend in your knees if you want. Now, from here, if your hands are not on the floor, I want you to bend your knees until they can get there. And then you're going to walk yourself out a little bit, and we're going to get into a down dog. So dropping those heels into the mat, drop that chest. Push forward into a plank, and then you're going to lower yourself down to the floor. You're either going to go to knees or just lower from your toes all the way. And once you're there,
Come up onto your forearms, lengthening the abdominal area, pull the heart through, extend the back. If you feel a stretch, stay. If you don't, press into the floor, press up. Try to lock the elbows if you can, and exhale and sag the belly. Lower down. Reach back, grab a hold of a foot, stretching out that quad. If that's painful for the knee and there's a different quad stretch you want to do it. Otherwise, range of motion is always an option. Nice, slow, deep breaths. Switch, other leg. Now again, we're not really holding for much gains in flexibility, just kind of a nice gentle stretch at the end of exercise. So if you're looking for flexibility, you have to be holding stretches at least 30 seconds. And release that. Go ahead and flip it around onto your back. And cross a heel over on the other, or ankle on the other thigh. Pull that in. Let's get this modified figure four, modified pigeon stretch. You can grab a hold of that top leg and help hold it in. You can reach through, whatever's kind of comfortable for you. I feel like I always kind of play with the angles and just kind of see where I feel like I get the best stretch. And switch that leg, cross it over, pull that in towards that chest. I'm kind of cradling my leg. Again, optional. You can grab wherever else that you feel like you need to. And release that down. Bring the knees over to one side, get a trunk rotation, open up through that chest, keep the shoulder back into the floor. Open up through that rib cage, take some deep breaths. Other side, bring it around. Bring it center. Release through the arms and legs. Extend yourself out long. Lengthen, kind of realign through that pelvis and spine. Exhale. And you are all done. You can either lay there and relax, maybe do a little bit of deep breathing. Otherwise, however you want to rock yourself on up and carry on with your day now. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next time.